Hello, and welcome to OJ Studios. Please enjoy today's chapter of The Summer Switch by Olivia Julius.
Chapter 15. When my eyes blinked open the next morning, the first thing I saw was the soft pink frills of my nightgown bunched up around me. I sat up slowly, rubbing my eyes. The ribbons on the shoulders tickled my cheeks, and the crinkle beneath the gown reminded me of the humiliating precaution Abuela had forced on me. "Still 4. I groaned. "You've gotta be kidding me!" Swinging my tiny legs over the side of the bed, I decided right then that I was marching downstairs to demand an explanation. Abuela had promised I'd only be this small for a day. But before I could even reach the doorknob, I froze. That familiar, tingling sensation began to swirl deep in my chest, spreading out through my limbs like electricity. My fingers twitched, my legs shook, and the air around me seemed to shimmer faintly. "Oh no," I muttered. I knew what was coming. And I knew what would happen to my clothes when it did. In a hurry, I yanked the frilly nightgown over my head, tossing it aside. The pull-up followed, leaving me standing bare on the bedroom carpet just as the magic surged. I dropped to the floor, bracing myself as the changes began. My limbs stretched first, arms lengthening, legs growing longer as my stubby feet expanded against the rug. My torso followed, the roundness of my toddler belly flattening into the slimmer build of a child. My face tingled, jaws shifting, nose and cheekbones refining just slightly as my curls spilled longer down my back. The room seemed to shrink around me as my perspective lifted. The bed no longer towered over me, it was just a bed again. My hands, once chubby and small, grew into the narrow, nimble fingers of a 10-year-old girl. And then it was done! I lay there on the floor, panting, staring at my now larger hands splayed against the carpet. 10 again! A 10-year-old Hispanic girl, just like before! I pushed myself upright, glancing over at the discarded nightgown. With a sigh of relief, I muttered, "Well! At least it's better than 4! Still not Greg! Still not myself! But closer! And maybe, just maybe, I could handle being 10 a little better this time." The bedroom was quiet except for Emily's soft breathing. She stirred as I sat on the floor, still catching my breath from the transformation. Her eyes blinked open, and when she saw me, she blinked again. A slow grin spread across her face. "Well, well," she murmured, stretching her arms above her head. "Look who grew up overnight!" "Yeah," I muttered, tugging the blanket off the bed to cover myself. "Finally! Back to 10! Emily smirked, pushing herself upright. "That means no more sippy cups at dinner! No more booster seat, and," her eyes flicked to the corner where the nightgown and pull-up lay crumpled together, "no more those!" My cheeks burned. Don't even say it!" She laughed softly, climbing out of bed and kneeling beside me. "Aw, come on! It's kind of a milestone, isn't it? You graduated! From Pampers to double digits!" I buried my face in my hands. "You're never going to let me live this down, are you?" Emily kissed the top of my head, her grin wicked and affectionate at the same time. "Not a chance!" I groaned, but deep down, I couldn't help smiling. Even if I was still trapped as a kid, at least I wasn't that little anymore. I padded over to the closet, half expecting to find another frilly nightmare waiting for me. My stomach knotted as I pulled the door open. And then I actually sighed with relief. Jeans! Still girl jeans, sure, slim cut, pale blue, with pockets that were about as useful as stickers. But denim nonetheless! And above them, hanging neatly on the hanger, was a shirt that looked blessedly close to a t-shirt. White with navy trim! Plain! Comfortable! I held them up like they were sacred treasures. Finally! Pants! Emily chuckled behind me, tugging the blanket tighter around her shoulders. "See? Mom must have taken pity on you after last night." "Yeah," I admitted, pulling the jeans against my waist. Guess being nice to Michelle finally paid off. I slipped into the outfit quickly, savoring the feel of fabric that wasn't swishing lace or puffed up ruffles. Sure, they hugged my hips tighter than any jeans I'd ever worn before, but after the gingham dress and the toddler nightgown, they felt like freedom. I turned in the mirror, tugging the hem of the shirt down. Not perfect, not Greg, but tolerable. Okay, I said, grinning faintly. I can live with this. Emily stretched, yawning, and then opened her own closet door. Her smile faltered. Oh, great! What? I asked, zipping up my jeans. She stepped aside so I could see. The closet was empty. Not a single hanger, not a single outfit waiting. Emily groaned. Looks like I'm stuck in these until after breakfast again. Just like yesterday. I smirked, pulling on the sneakers waiting at the bottom of my closet. Guess Abuela figures you're more patient than me. Emily gave me a playful nudge as she passed. Or she just enjoys torturing you more. I couldn't argue with that. Just as I finished tying the laces on my sneakers, the bedroom door swung open without a knock. Michelle barreled in, her curls bouncing, still in her own frilly nightgown. The moment her eyes landed on me, she stopped dead and then broke into a grin that stretched ear to ear. Well, look at you, she crowed, pointing at my legs. Somebody finally graduated back to pants. I groaned, tugging at the waistband of the girl jeans as if that might make them look more masculine. They're just jeans. Nothing special. Michelle twirled dramatically in her ruffles. Oh no, this is very special. Yesterday you were the baby in a pull-up. Now you're big enough for pants. What a glow-up! Emily snorted from the bed, clearly enjoying the show. I rolled my eyes. You know, for someone who was miserable about being turned into a 5-year-old girl, you're sure getting a lot of mileage out of teasing me. Michelle plopped down on the edge of the bed, kicking her feet. What can I say? I've been waiting for someone else to be lower on the totem pole. And you, dear Allison, made the perfect baby sister. I crossed my arms, but I couldn't help smiling. Well, enjoy it while it lasts. I'm moving up in the world. Michelle said, smirking. Jeans today, maybe a training bra tomorrow. Emily burst out laughing. My face turned scarlet. Abuela's gonna pay for this, I muttered, though even I couldn't keep the chuckle out of my voice. Breakfast. Abuela's voice boomed from the bottom of the stairs, carrying with the same tone she used when herding us into the van. Emily gave me a quick wink. Better hurry before she adds another rule. I followed her down the stairs, Michelle skipping ahead in her ruffles. By the time we reached the kitchen, the table was already set, pancakes, eggs, fruit, and milk in tall glasses for the older kids. My seat had a smaller plate, and a glass with a lid and straw. Figures! But before anyone could dig in, Abuela cleared her throat. She sat at the head of the table, hands folded, her expression just a little too pleased. Children, she began, her voice rich with that sing-song cheer that always meant trouble. Today, we're going to play a little game. The cousins groaned in unison. Abuela smiled wider. The rules are simple. We'll play after breakfast. The winner may choose their own age and gender for the rest of the week. Chairs scraped as kids sat up straighter. Even Chloe leaned forward, eyes narrowing with interest. And, Abuela continued, her tone dipping with theatrical weight, the loser will spend the rest of the week as a 6-month-old baby. The room went silent. I nearly choked on my first bite of pancake. Wait, what? A baby? As in diapers and pacifiers baby? Abuela nodded matter-of-factly. Exactly. 2 years old? The littlest of the little. Michelle groaned, slapping her forehead. Oh no! Oh, no! I am not going back further. Emily tried to keep a straight face but smirked into her juice, sounds like mom's raising the stakes. Meanwhile, my stomach dropped. 2 years old? I barely survived being 4. I could still feel the humiliation of last night's pull-up. 2 years old meant cribs. Bottles. Baby talk. I pushed my plate back, appetite gone. I've got to win this game, I muttered. No matter what it is. As the cousins buzzed nervously about the game, Emily leaned over, her shoulder brushing mine. Her voice was low, meant just for me. "If you win," she whispered, "are you going to stay a girl?" I barked out a laugh, almost too loud, and quickly covered my mouth. "Of course not! I'm going straight back to being a man! No hesitation!" But even as I said it, my stomach twisted. Because the truth was, I wasn't so sure anymore. I kept my face neutral, chewing my pancake slowly while my thoughts churned. Being a girl was frustrating, humiliating even. Dresses, pull-ups, juice boxes. But it wasn't all bad, was it? There was something freeing about it. About playing with Michelle without the weight of being the dad. About feeling small enough that Emily could carry me like I was precious. About laughing until my sides hurt without caring how ridiculous I looked. If I had the chance to choose, maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to try being a teen girl again. Or even an adult woman, just to see what that felt like. But I pushed the thought away, forcing another bite of pancake down. Out loud, I chuckled and shook my head. "Definitely back to being a boy," I told Emily firmly. She arched an eyebrow, clearly not buying it, and smiled knowingly. And inside, I wondered if I was lying more to her, or to myself.